ridiculous. So that's why I have an 18-inch neck.
I love it. Why you have an 18-inch neck?
That's sure. That's the story of Jesus. You.
How does it feel to be on stage and looking around at your brother wearing all of this stuff?
That was one of the cooler things. The question was, how did it feel to be on stage and look around at all my brothers in Slipknot and see us wearing all the red coveralls and all the old stuff? It was cool. The only bum out was that I went through several hours getting my old mask recreated, and it didn't fucking fit. Like, seriously. And we worked on that thing for like several days. Like, I put it on, and for some reason, as soon as I went to sing, it slid down to the point where the nose was by my mouth. And I'm like physically holding it up like this. So I'm like, man, show me what, damn it. So I run off, I run over to her, and I'm like, take this thing off, give me the All Hope Is Gone one. So I'm literally belting this on, she's holding the mic like this, and I'm like, 1, 2, 3. Weird. So then we get to the next gig, and I'm like, and by this time, me and Bobby Tongs were stuffing pillows into the top of it. It's like, this thing ain't going anywhere. I look like an encephalitis. My head started to kind of go up like a light bulb. And I'm like, this is not attractive in the slightest, but screw it. I gotta get one gig out of this, right? No. I put it on, and all it did was just, I'm like, why is this happening to me? So I took it off again in the middle of the same song, and I run it, 1, 2, 3, and it's like, burn that son of a bitch. They changed, I know, but poor Bobby Tongs is like, no, we got this covered, man. We've got paddings in the eyes now. I'm like, fuck, no. But it was like wearing the old coveralls. It was weird because, I mean, it had been so long since I'd even worn coveralls, you know. I mean, the ones for Iowa were completely different anyway, you know. So it was really weird to put those on and just go, God, I can just move anywhere in these sons of bitches. Look at that. It was pretty cool. Anybody? Holy shit. You. Was there ever a time when I was writing a song or something where I was afraid to share something? Not really. I mean, I'm the beautiful thing about writing is that you're not trying to impress anybody but yourself at the end of the day, you know? It's the people who worry about other people's feelings that invariably they censor themselves into saying nothing. You know, I mean, obviously there's a part of me that worries about other people's feelings and whatnot, but when you're trying to work stuff out, you've just gotta, especially from an artistic point of view, you've gotta blurt it. You know, I mean, the minute you worry about what you're going to say, you either have to just take the plunge or just back away and just start over from scratch, you know? So I've always been either too stupid or too brave for my own good. And whenever I worry about saying something, I usually just kind of charge in with just guns blazing, basically. It's been the best way for me to get stuff out that I've had to, you know? I mean, it's also been the best way for me to write because I've really just gotten to the point where it's like, I can say whatever I want, whether anybody can relate to it or not. That's completely up to interpretation. But at the end of the day, I've got to know that I've said it. Because if you don't say it, it doesn't get said. So I've never let myself be limited by fear. I just always charge in. So, all right, 2 more questions. Guy in the back's been waiting a while. You.
I was just wondering if you guys went to Big 4.
I did. But not this last time. I saw them when I toured with him with Stone Sour last year. And you want to talk about surreal. Dude, this was like me and Josh Rand like freaking out on a cellular level. Like, I can't believe this is happening. This is awesome, you know? Here is, and I swear to you, the weirdest moment I ever saw. Here's Dave Mustaine wandering the backstage area. And if you're not familiar with him, he has very long red hair and his face is constantly. And I'm not making fun of him, that's just honestly what it fucking looks like. He does look very pissed. And he's very tall as well, so he's just fucking. He comes around a corner and there's James Hetfield. And I'm like, oh. They're gonna fucking fight, dude. And they ran up to each other and hugged. And I almost shit someone else's pants. I was like, there's no way. And then it was like, oh, what's up, dude? And I'm like, am I seeing this right? Scotty and comes around the corner. He's like, what do you think of that? That's my worst Scotty impression. Like, I always go right to that. Rah. He doesn't sound anything like that, but I'm like, yeah, see, yeah, you know, we're gonna come up, yeah, Scotty, see. I don't know why I do that, but he's like, it blow your mind, and I'm like, dude, I'm freaking out right now. I'm like, did you slip me something? Did you slip me something in my drink? But it was really cool, man. It was really cool to see them just kind of let a lot of shit go, you know? It gave me hope in a weird way, you know, because as a kid, I mean, I grew up reading the wars. You know, you guys, you see the softer side of the Big Four. I grew up reading, you know, and rip them just, you know, it's like, oh, if I ever see that motherfucker. And I'm like, whoa. You know, I'm 14 years old, freaking out. It's like, dude, they hate each other. They did, you know? So to see this, man, it's really cool. And it's a shame. It's a shame that Megadeth hasn't gotten the credit that it has. Or that, honestly, that Dave hasn't gotten the credit that he deserves. But at the same time, you know, he's given us some fantastic music. All of those bands have given us fantastic music. If it wasn't for the Big Four, I wouldn't be standing here right now. And they got me through so much that they were the soundtrack to my chaos, basically. And if it wasn't for them, I don't think I'd have been able to walk the streets. So it was very cool to be able to see it and watch that hug. That hug summed it all up for me. I was just like, man, if I could, I'd just sneak in, because they're both taller than me, and just be like, I'm just gonna be, you know, just get right into the weird Mustaine Hetfield sandwich. Just be like, love me too. You know? So, okay, one more. You.
You toured with the Avenged Sevenfold. What was it like both dealing with Paul Gray's death and the Rev? Like, you guys just blow it off like it wasn't there? You guys talked about it?
No, we talked about it. He asked me what it was like to tour with Avenged, and knowing that they lost the Rev, and then we had lost Paul. It was strange. When the Rev died, I was one of the, I guess I was one of the first people to reach out to Zachy and just make sure he was okay and whatnot. And I reached out to Matt. And then I saw them a little later at the Revolver Awards. And it was about 2 weeks before Paul died. And I gave him my condolences because I hadn't seen him in a while. And then Paulie died. And then one of the first texts I got was from Matt and Zachy, and they, right out of the gate, they were just like, dude, whatever you need, just let us know. So when we went on the road together, it's not a conversation you just immediately jump into, you know? I mean, it was one of those things where I wasn't even talking to the press about it, and neither were they, really. It was a matter of, hey, it's just really good to see you. You get a couple weeks in, and that's when you start talking and stuff. And it was really just kind of about remembering, you know, like you start talking about it. It was cool because the guys at Avenged have been Slipknot fans for a long time. So I've got, well, you call him Sinister, I call him Brian. because that's his name. I'll call him Gates. How about that? Okay, I got Gates talking to me and just drilling me with questions. Just like, when was the first time you wore a mask? What'd you do there for the first time? Yeah. What's this mean? What is it when you're an eyeless? What does this mean? What did you say? And I was like, it's like, dude, you're killing me here. Come on. But we talked about we talked about how much fun it was to be with those people, because I mean, they grew up with Rev. You know, they grew up with Jimmy. You know, Matt told me, it's like, man, he would, you know, this is a guy that would wake up and he'd come over to my house. You know, it wasn't just a band. These were brothers. And that's the way it was with me and Paul, you know. I mean, for the longest time, we lived together. Like, before we got signed, me and him had a crappy apartment on 28th Street. And he was living in the solarium. I was living on the couch because I broke up with my girlfriend and I had nowhere to stay. And I was like, well, I'll just sleep on this shitty couch then. And it was right before we went on Ozfest '99. So it was... It was good, man. You know, I was like, he was my bro. So we would go down to Safari Club where he was working and just hang out, and then we'd come back and we'd get drunk and get lost, basically, you know. I mean, we were just young kids. We were on the cusp of history, you know. So it was good to kind of share that with those guys. I mean, you know, I know that Avenge catches a lot of flack sometimes in the press, but I will defend them to the day I die, because they're not only great kids, they're great guys, great musicians, and they have a heart, you know, they really do, and they have my utmost respect. So I guess that's where we'll leave that at. Oh God, I forgot I even taken these off. I was like, where the fuck am I bus? Very dad move, right?